Gen Z said they are leaderless.
Yes.
But we know Gachagua is their leader, Mutahi Kahiga is their leader. If you see how the police have been handling demonstrators, they have been handling them in a very respectful manner.
Really?
Yeah.
We have Nane Nane coming.
What is
people,
Nane Nane?
People
What
are
is
very,
that? What is
they are
that?
waiting for Nane Nane.
What is Nane
and they're
Nane?
going to show up. We've seen on Twitter, we've seen on TikTok, we've seen on all social media. They've said, regardless of everything that they're calling threats, they are going to show up on Nane Nane.
What is Nane Nane? Can you explain to me what is Nane Nane?
It is a day that the youth have set to go and picket and to show their frustration against the government.
It's another day of stealing properties. The deputy president that we currently have is like we don't have a deputy president. We
Really,
cannot
Max?
have a deputy president that his focus, his main focus is Mount Kenya. We cannot have such a deputy president. We cannot have a deputy president that when a Kikuyu is not at the National Intelligence Service as the Director General, then that is not NIS, then that is not Kenya. We cannot have a deputy president when, if we don't have close to 8 cabinet secretaries from Mount Kenya, then that is not government. We cannot have such a deputy president. We cannot have a deputy president that if he is not in Madeira, then he is in Kieni. If he is not in Kieni, he is somewhere in Kirinyaga on top of the vehicle. If he is not in Kirinyaga, he is in Laikipia. When is he going to attend a church service in Kisumu? When is he going to attend a church service, even in Taita?
Hello guys, welcome to yet another great session where we're going to discuss about politics, and this time we want to deal with national politics. And with me here, I have a colleague here who will introduce himself. My name is Boniface, or you can find me on Twitter at Bonifide_1 or on TikTok at Bonifide_official. Karibu sana.
Thank you. I'm Max Solum, kijana ya rais. Ni kama kawaida nasemanga, kukiwa na mambo unataka kuambia rais unanitafuta. Mimi ndio mtu yake ya mkono. Mimi naitwa come here, go there. Yeah.
So guys, naona leo tuko na anasema kijana ya rais. Leo tuko naye hapa and we have very pertinent questions to ask him. And straight away we'll start with the most important thing, which is national unity. Max, over the few months that zimepita, we've seen the youths coming out demonstrating about pertinent issues that are facing the youth. One, they have been saying that corruption is very high in this country and they want it reduced. Two, they've been saying that there's a lot of wastage. That is money being wasted, that is government money being spent in a manner that is not right. We've seen cabinet secretaries out there bragging about the amount of money they are spending on watches, the amount of money they are spending on shoes. Yet we have Kenyans out there who don't have even something to spend on food necessities. So what is your take, first of all, on what has been going around the country for the past 2 months ago?
Thank you, Bonnie.
Yeah.
Just as we said earlier, that Kenya is a democratic country.
Yeah.
It's a country that is being governed by the rule of law.
Yes.
And the Constitution under Article 37 allows every citizen of this country to demonstrate. Because you know, if you are alive to Article 1,
yes,
that says sovereignty power, all sovereign power
belongs to the people.
Belongs to the people of Kenya. Who are the people? The people, it's you and me.
Yes.
We are the people,
yes.
You and me. So about Gen Z going on demonstrations and doing what? You know, Article 37 states is very clear that you should be going for peaceful and unarmed protest.
Yes. So
when you carry a stone, that is now not peaceful. When you carry a machete,
Yeah.
or rungu, that is now not a peaceful demonstration.
And what does
So
the Constitution say?
we respect their constitutional rights.
Yes.
Let them demonstrate. But they must also respect other people's rights. Those who are not going for demonstrations, they must be respected. Not everybody is interested in going for demonstration.
Yes.
So we respect Gen Z, and the president has had them. I think you saw the head of state made some changes just recently, and there are still more to come. This week, I think the president will be working on. I think after the swearing in of the CSS, then there will be a firing of some PSS.
I think, Max, let me cut you short because I think we've gone beyond what I also wanted something. We are saying that Article 37, and that is okay, that says that everyone has the right to go out and demonstrate.
Yeah.
But what does the Constitution say about police and the use of force? That is also something else, because Gen Zs wamejihami na maji na simu. They are going out to demonstrate and to show their discontent about what is going on in the country.
I saw some of them with a coffin.
When they go out, just a simple gathering of people, the police are throwing tear gas at them. You know, that is agitation. You're agitating this crowd, which will respond, and that is why you'll find them now throwing stones. That is what has been happening, Max. What is the role of the police in this?
The work of the police is to maintain law and order, and that is what they have been doing all along. In fact, if you see how the police have been handling demonstrators, they have been handling them in a very respectful manner.
Really?
Yeah, according to me. That is according to me, according to how I've been studying this thing. But then, you know, police is an independent body.
Yes.
So you cannot tell us that the president or the CS for interior has instructed the police to go and maybe, let me say, shoot or tear gas demonstrators. They are very independent and they operate on their own through their IG Douglas Kanja. Yeah.
You are raising a question about the coffin and everything that has been brought about by these protests. That is symbolic. I don't believe there is a problem there with someone bringing symbolism into what they are demonstrating. But what is very, very important is that the police,
of a coffin?
The police have been agitating the crowd, and the crowd has been angry. If you assess what has been going on in Bangladesh, it first started with the quotas of the jobs.
But this is not Bangladesh.
We are taking it as we're not comparing. We're not comparing. We are taking it as a precedence. Even if you go to court today, they will take a case that happened in the United States and compare it. So we have a case today, and our case is the Gen Zs who are fighting or demonstrating for their sole right to belong in this country and to have a say in what is going on. In Bangladesh, what happened is they were demonstrating for a very good thing, a very good cause. And that cause was job quotas. They wanted the percentages to be reduced, to be meaningful, and to give the youth an opportunity for them to work. But what happened in the middle is the police came in and started shooting people. And sadly, about 300 lives were lost in those protests.
Yeah.
And now, that anger changed from even being the quotas to be the administration is against its own people. And that is what spilled over to what is happening. So I am just saying, you know, the police also have a role to play.
Yeah.
The police have a role to play.
So when goons, the Goonzi, they call themselves Gen Z. I call them Goonzi.
Yeah.
When Goonzi went to parliament, destroyed property, and they vandalized, and they even touched some offices. So are you still calling them Gen Z or Goonzi? These are goons. They were Gen Z, but they were goons. But now
the allegations that they were paid.
When you approach, when you attack Parliament and you touch Parliament, you touch City Hall, you go and destroy properties. So do you want the police to spare you? I think you can support this thing if you are not affected by this mandamano. But if you are affected, you cannot support them. So we must agree that in as much as they were demonstrating, there were people that were not with them. There were people that their main aim was to destroy and steal. And therefore, the police must just do their work. So I don't see the problem with the police doing their work. So if you say mtoto wangu alikuwa anaenda tu supermarket kununua kitabu akapigwa risasi, but again the CCTV footage is showing huyu mtoto ametoka supermarket amebeba kitu anakimbia nayo. Now let us respect the rule of law. If you want the presidency or the executive to respect Gen Z, let Gen Z do the same.
Max, where do you see all this ending? Because we have Nane Nane coming.
What is
people,
Nane Nane?
People
What
are very, they are waiting for Nane Nane.
What is Nane
and they're going to show up. We've seen on Twitter, we've seen on TikTok, we've seen on all social media. They've said, regardless of everything that they're calling threats, they are going to show up on Nane Nane.
What is Nane Nane? Can you explain to me what is Nane Nane?
It is a day that the youth have set to go and picket and to show their frustration against the government.
It's another day of stealing properties.
It is not a day of stealing properties. It is a day for nationalists to come out and show their frustration as per Article 37 that we just mentioned as we started.
Peaceful and unarmed.
Yes.
Peaceful and unarmed. Yeah.
Yes.
If they do it that way, nobody will have a problem with them.
Where do you think all this will end?
This thing you call Nane Nane, I don't know about it, but it's mandamano in short.
It is protests, Article 37.
It's protest.
The right of everyone that power belongs to the people, either directly or through representation.
Yeah.
Article
but
1.
now, they are allowed to do it.
Yes.
Nobody will interfere with them. But let them not dare. Let them not dare destroy properties. Because we have a government in place. We have a CS who is waiting for approval, CS for Interior. We have the IG. We have the police force. We have the all organs of security. They will be there to maintain law and order and to protect properties. You know, the law says if you are going for a demonstration, the police should escort you.
Yes.
It's a must.
Yes.
So
which we also expect that
it's a must.
Nane Nane, our police officers will come out and escort the protesters.
Yeah, but when you start throwing stones at police officers, what do you want them to do? They will respond.
They just want to picket on the direction of the State House.
My friend, State House is a protected area. It's a restricted area. Even yourself, you are not allowed to go there. Yeah, unless otherwise.
Where do you think all this will end, Max?
They will just calm down. You know, you can never defeat the government. That is the truth, and that is the bitter truth.
So the government...
they will just demonstrate. If they are allowed to demonstrate, they can do it even from Monday to Monday. Monday, Tuesday...
All CSs were fired. Wasn't that a defeat?
To who?
The president caved in. All CSs were fired. We saw that the president came and also made the IG resigned. We saw the finance bill was scrapped off.
I don't know about
Wasn't that
I don't want
part of the defeat?
I don't want to talk about the police body. I don't want to talk about the IG resigning. I know nothing about that one.
Yeah.
But the president...
But it was one of the demands that the Gen Zs had.
No, I don't know about that one. The president firing CSS, that was a very good move. In fact, if I were Ruto, if I were President Ruto, I would hire another bunch of CSS, not the other. But now, Kenyans were very happy because the president fired some of the CSS, which was a very good move. They were not working. Remember when we were here last time, I told you that the president is very wise. Some of these CSS, I said some of these CSS, they don't know their work. They don't know what is going on in their dockets. But the president knows what is going on in your... The CSS that we had last time, they were joking. They didn't know their work.
Yeah.
Some of them did not know their role.
Yeah.
And that is why the president fired them. So I applaud the president for doing such a wonderful job, because myself, I was not satisfied with some of the CSS. They were not working, you see. Yeah. And therefore, we also thank the president for hiring people like John Badi, Opio Wandai, and Hassan Joho, and Oparanya. Yeah, let us see if they will help the president deliver. What we want right now is the delivery. Yeah, not PR and show off with the expensive watches and suits, you see.
The president himself came to the public and he said that he will not allow a government of national unity. And we know that all people from the UDA side, from the Kenya Kwanza side, were very adamant, saying that they will never allow Raila Odinga to be part of this government. But Raila Odinga is now part of this government. It is out there. Even if he comes out and says he's not part of it, we know that Raila Odinga is part of this government. Max, was the president lying to us?
No, that was politics.
Have circumstances changed?
I've said it's just like you want a beautiful lady, you've seen a beautiful lady somewhere. And you know, we men, we know ourselves. You want a beautiful lady, you must go with some lies and some truth. You don't just go with the truth.
But you are lying to the nation. That this is the entire nation you are lying to. And these are the exact things that the Gen Zs are out there protesting about, that the president is not telling us the truth.
The president said he will not allow the opposition to join the government. But what if the opposition has something that we need? What if they have something that we need from them for a country to move on, for a country, for the stability of this country?
Let me ask this. This is just a sideline. Do you believe the president has legitimate power right now? Do you believe he was elected by the majority of Kenyans? Because as things are right now, we know that the president got just a mere win from Raila Odinga, that is one, and a lot of people did not vote.
There was nothing like a mere win.
Is this a way of maybe the nation coming out and telling him that you actually did not have the majority support, and you have now to go to the opposition so that you can validate your legitimacy, so that you can bring in some more people? Is this a way of the president telling us he didn't have legitimate power?
He still has. He had. So, you know, you cannot reason like that. The president is very wise in his decisions, the decisions that he made. He made a very right decision. And we cannot say, because he has hired some of the cabinets from opposition, now he didn't have enough
legitimate power.
Enough legitimate power. What we have to agree is that there is time for politics and there is time to work for Kenyans. This is the time to work for Kenyans. This is not the time for politics. Yeah. So let us avoid this petty politics of who came to the government and who did not vote for who and who did not do this and who did this. Let us stop that. Let us focus on helping the president deliver to the people of Kenya.
First of all, it was called cooperation, then went on and it was called a handshake. Right now we have a new terminology called a broad-based government. Are we circulating in the same things that has been happening in this country?
I don't know. That question, maybe Raila Odinga himself can answer that one. Maybe Raila can answer that.
Broad-based government. The president came out and said that now we're going to have a broad-based government and a government that is going to be all-inclusive. Does that mean that the bottom-up philosophy has sunk?
But remember when president was campaigning, he said, I will form a government for everybody, a government that will include everybody. You remember?
I remember,
something like that. So I would urge you to use that one as well, because you was using this recent remarks.
I don't have a problem with that, because the bottom-up philosophy itself was supposed to unite the entire nation under that philosophy. But right now, as things are, and the president came out and said in his press conference that he will have to incorporate other philosophies. Now, I believe that is from the opposition. Does it mean that the bottom-up philosophy was not working?
No, it's working. It was and it's still working. It's still working.
It is a broad-based government. We saw Mbadi coming out and say that now we are going to have
But,
some
you know,
ideas from the opposition coming into the government.
There are some facts that I have to admit right now.
Yes.
And you know, you cannot have a peaceful government without calling Raila Odinga, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga,
peaceful government
on the table.
There will be chaos.
He has supporters. He controls nearly half of this country.
Yes.
President Ruto controls a half of this country. And therefore, let us not assume him. He has his people. He has what English is calling pseudo supporters. Yeah, he has pseudo supporters. He has many supporters. And therefore, let us not assume that you can run a country without calling Baba on the table. You can see the country is now stable today because of that one. So we, as the soldiers of President William Ruto, we are very happy with the decision that the president made, and we are not opposing him. Anybody who tries to oppose that, we will kick you out, my friend.
In the previous regime, the Kenyatta II regime, the last one, when we say that the deputy president was, the then deputy president was our president right now, that he was sidelined. There is this argument that the president usually came out and said that ameachilia mtu amekuja kwa serikali na huyo mtu amekuja akatoa agenda ya ilikuwa inaitwa Big Four agenda. Big Four agenda ikaenda nje, imekuwa handshake na imekuwa nini. So is it the same thing that the president was saying is bad is happening in his own government, and now
what
he's accepting it?
What is happening in his own government? What is that is happening?
That Raila has come in, and now the bottom up is a bit pushed back, and now we have a broad-based government that we really don't understand what are the tenets of this broad-based government.
If the bottom up was not going to work for Kenyans, then I think the president is right to use this broad-based government.
So he's admitting failure?
No, we are not admitting failure. I'm saying if that was not going to work, you can have option B, you can have plan B. So this can be a plan B to the president.
Yes.
Yeah, but nobody is frustrating the deputy as you are trying to put it.
Okay. Now let us segue into the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. We've seen Rigathi Gachagua lately coming out with outbursts, coming out with different opinions that are not the opinions of the president or the Kenya Kwanza regime as such. One, we saw the deputy president during the demonstrations came out and said that Nurdin Haji, pointing a finger at Nurdin Haji, say that Nurdin Haji is the one who did this and that. Second, the deputy president also has come out in an interview and said that he's being sidelined, that people are conniving against him. What is happening? What is happening in the ruling party, Max?
You know, it's not that I don't respect the deputy president. I respect him. But now we just have to speak the truth. The deputy president that we currently have is like we don't have a deputy president. We
really,
cannot
Max?
have a deputy president that his focus, his main focus is Mount Kenya. We cannot have such a deputy president. We cannot have a deputy president that when a Kikuyu is not at the National Intelligence Service as the Director General, then that is not NIS, then that is not Kenya. We cannot have a deputy president when, if we don't have close to 8 cabinet secretaries from Mount Kenya, then that is not government. We cannot have such a deputy president. This government is for all Kenyans. We campaigned, we won, then Azimio lost. But now, inclusivity, we must include everybody in this government. Now, we cannot have a deputy president that if he is not in Madeira, then he is in Kieni. If he is not in Kieni, he is somewhere in Kirinyaga on top of the vehicle. If he is not in Kirinyaga, he is in Laikipia. When is he going to attend a church service in Kisumu? When is he going to attend a church service even in Taita? I've never seen him going to Taita. In fact, if I were Gachagua, I know I don't need to, I'm not need to advise Gachagua, but if I were Gachagua, I would go to Kisumu. Let them throw stones at me, but I would go there. That is how you do politics. Let them throw stones. You will gain popularity. You will even gain sympathy. Yeah.
So you want to say that the deputy president is tribal?
Very tribal. He's not just tribal, very tribal. We cannot have a deputy president where if you are not from Mount Kenya, then you are not considered as a Kenyan.
As per the deputy president, he says that he was chosen as a representative of Mount Kenya. And he is doing his role as the representative
So do you mean
of
Kenya
Mount
belongs to Kalenjins and Kikuyus? Because now you want to tell me if Gachagua represents Mount Kenya, then Ruto represents Rift Valley. So is that what you are trying to tell me, Ama?
No, that is what the deputy president came out and said.
He represents
Those are
Mount
his
Kenya.
words.
Then if he represents Mount Kenya, well and good. Let him resign, then he goes back.
He came out and said
that he can resign and go back and serve.
That everyone has their own darling. That he loves Mount Kenya more than any other place.
We don't have a problem with that. It's simple. Let him resign, walk back to Madeira and serve Mount Kenya. It's simple. Yeah, if you love Mount Kenya so much that you don't see Kisumu or Kisii or Mombasa or Machakos as counties, then you can resign, you walk back to Madeira, then you serve your people because you love them. You have a need of loving them. You love them. Just walk back and love them.
Max, we've seen the Luya community.
Because remember, wachana Luya. Because remember, I think he is forgetting. He is the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, not Republic of Madeira. He is the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya and not Republic of Madeira.
Max,
I think Gachagua should come clear on this and start treating other Kenyans as Kenyans. We also voted for Ruto Gachagua, but now we are not. What we are getting from Gachagua is just unfair treatment.
The argument is this: we've seen different communities coming together, talking about their future. We saw the Luya community talking about his future, Mudavadi and Wetangula. We saw different communities coming and they're saying that we want to chart our own future. We want to have our own leader. We saw even the coastal community saying that they will rally behind Joho and Mvurya and,
Yeah.
Why is it a problem when Mount Kenya also has that conversation that we want to rally ourselves behind one leader? Why is that tribal and these others are not tribal? I think that is the question that many are asking also.
Yeah. So, Prime Minister, let me give an example with Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
You might know, you are not a Luo, so you might not know some of the inner discussions. Luos are always lamenting that if Raila gets slots, he doesn't consider giving Luos. In fact, Luos wanted all these slots to be given to them. But you know why Raila is doing that? Raila, if he's given a slot, he doesn't give the slots to only Luos. You give it to all communities. In fact, if Raila was president today, Luos will be crying, I'm telling you, because I know Raila very well. He could have considered other tribes than Luos. But now, we don't have a problem with Luya unity. Let them unite. But have you ever heard Wetangula saying, or Mudavadi saying, I love people from Luya, and they are my people, they are the ones who made me to be where I am today, and therefore I have a weakness of loving them. You've never heard Wetangula or Mudavadi saying that. As a national leader, you don't say that. That one, leave that one to the MCA. Yeah.
Okay. Now, as we close to finish this discussion, the Gen Zs came out and protested. We've talked about it.
Before you proceed to the Gen Zs, I think the president or any other MP should table a motion in Parliament for the Constitution to be changed. We need we need the amendment of the Constitution so that the Deputy President be appointed. I think you are forgetting, be appointed, not elected, together with the head of state. I think the deputy president has grown horns, and I think it's high time we change the constitution so that the deputy president can be appointed.
Like the US system.
Yeah, so he can be fired. He or she can be fired anytime if he jokes around.
Why do you think that is important at this time?
It's very important because the deputy president we have currently is feeling like he is the president. Yeah, he feels like he is the boss. And now he should be given more priorities than even the president. So I think the deputy should be appointed and not elected.
Do you know we had that problem, the same problem in the previous regime? And the person who was in that previous regime is the current president who you support,
Yeah.
and became president.
He was not appointed. Ruto was not appointed.
I'm
He
saying
was elected.
He was not, yes, just like Rigathi is elected. He has
Yeah.
the right to be in this government.
But he can be impeached.
He can be impeached.
Under
That is
Article
okay.
150, 149 and 150 can be impeached.
That is okay, he can be impeached.
Yeah.
But should this, what you're calling that Rigathi is tribal and everything, is it reason enough for us to change the constitution to that end? Are we changing the
We are not
constitution because
change,
of
we
our
are
emotions?
not changing the constitution because of Rigathi. I'm saying it has taken 10 years. And what does the law say? The law says the constitution should be amended after every 10 years. It is true. 10 years has gone. So we need to amend the constitution. It's not only about Rigathi Gachagua. That is what the law says. After every 10 years, we amend the constitution. So the constitution should be amended in a way that if you've been a deputy president, you should not be allowed to even vie for presidency because you've served as a deputy president. Yeah, serve your term and go home as deputy president. Leave it to others because we also have youths who are coming.
Should that also
So one
be
person
extended?
should not serve as a deputy president for 10 years and then another 10 years as president. Let the constitution be amended and then we visit the article, I think Article 150, then we change the constitution so that if you vied for, if you are the deputy president today, then you serve your 2 terms or 1, then you go home.
And what is your take on counties? Because we have this conversation that these counties are too many,
Yeah.
and we need a reduction. Of
Yeah, my take on counties,
as
I
well
think.
as well as deputy governors. Should what you're saying be cascaded down to deputy governors?
Yeah,
Or
I
should
think
we scrap the crap of deputy governors?
if I were president, although I'm not, then I would reduce the counties to 8. Ask me why.
The initial provinces.
Yeah, the provinces, so that we have 1 governor per province, a governor per province. Like Nyanza, we just have 1 governor and a deputy. So maybe a governor can come from Kisii and a deputy comes from Kisumu. That is Nyanza, you see. We have 1 governor from Central. Just like that, so that we minimize using easy pesa mingi yote. You know, a governor works with over 10 vehicles. 10 vehicles. So if we have 8 governors per province, that will reduce the nini. Yeah.
Okay, that is a good way. That is
Yeah.
a good one. So let us segue into what I had initially brought about, the Gen Zs and Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
We have Gen Zs that we've talked about, and then we have Raila Odinga. Do you think Raila Odinga has betrayed the Gen Zs? Because
No, how
they
would you say Raila has betrayed the Gen Zs? Raila was not their leader. They said they are leaderless, fearless, I don't know. They said something like that. They are leaderless, fearless, hornless,
But they expect the political class to, at the very least, reason with them.
They
This is the opposition
said
that
they
was
were
there.
on their own. Let the Gen Z carry their own cross.
This was
Raila
the
is not their
persistent
leader.
opposition.
Raila is not their leader.
And something, Max, even if Raila was not their leader,
Yeah.
then they were leading Raila Odinga. Because at the very time that they were voting for this finance bill, where it started, the opposition voted in their favor. That means that in some way...
Not their favor. The opposition did what they are supposed to do.
They had the sole support of the opposition at that time. Right now, you are leaving young Kenyans alone. They don't. It's as if no one elected these.
You know,
right now.
Gen Z said they are leaderless.
Yes.
But we know Gachagua is their leader, Mutai Kahiga is their leader, Martha Karua is their leader, and Boniface Mwangi is their leader. But they said they are leaderless. That is a lie. So let them lament to Martha Karua, Boniface Mwangi, Gachagua and Mutahi Kahiga. Let them not lament to Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga has supporters. He has his supporters. Let Raila speak on behalf of his supporters. Let the Gen Z stop lamenting, oh, Raila betrayed us. They said they are leaderless. But deep down, we know their leader is Rigathi Gachagua.
You heard that first here. And what is Rigathi's role in Gen Z's movement?
To fund them.
To what end?
In fact, I'm forgetting to add Uhuru Kenyatta.
To what end? Why are they being funded? To do what?
They were being funded. So did you
stabilize?
You heard Mwangi Kunjuru talking about Gen Z's being funded, you see?
Yes.
So now, if they were not being funded, where did the Gen Z, because these are young people, where did they get money to buy coffins? Where?
No,
Where did they get money? Wait, to buy the placards. Where did they get money to buy iPhone? Because they had very expensive phones, you see. Because these people are being funded.
We have young people who are
let Martha Karua, because that is what they discussed in Limuru 3. That was the discussion. They were planning for this protest. Let them lament direct. Let them face Martha Karua with those their tears. Yeah, let them face Martha Karua and Rigathi Gachagua plus Mutahi Kahiga. We don't know about Gen Z. Let them do their thing. I hear they have been funded to do the nane thing. Let them do it. We don't care. Kenya will move on. With or without Gen Z, Kenya will move on. That is the truth.
Did they fund people even in Uasin Gishu?
Yeah.
Did they fund people even in other
Those who were demonstrating in Uasin Gishu were ODM supporters. They did not know what is going on. You know, I'm a Luo. A Luo can just sit somewhere and he sees maandamano going on and he joins. Ajui ni nini inaendelea. Bora ameona tu maandamano. Bora ameona watu wamebeba bango na watu wamebeba nini. Mjaluo atajoin tu hiyo maandamano. We are like that. Hatuwezi ona kitu ikiharibika na tukae. So wale watu walikuwa wanaandamana Eldoret ni Wajaluo na hawakujua ni nini inaendelea. Wao walijoin tu maandamano na wakaingia, lakini baadaye wakaambiwa hii maandamano sio yenu. Do you remember? Wakaambiwa hii sio yenu, mkae kando. Lakini even after that hawakusimama, waliendelea. So wale ni watu tu waliingia maandamano, hawakujua ni nini inaendelea.
Now in this topic, Rigathi Gachagua, you say that he is part of that. That is what you're saying.